Goody goody gumdrops, we get to talk about a horror movie during the month of December. We've done this for quite a few years now. Like when I think back to it, I mean I remember like one year we looked at the very much um very much like a slasher film that is a the What a Wonderful Knife, which was like a bit of a surprise for me. Especially when, especially when people like say, "Hey, maybe I could recommend this for, folks that need a um like a lesbian love story kind of film or something like that." um, so let's look back at a slasher film from 2006. In this case, Black Christmas.
Billy's present. Hello? Who drew Billy's name?
Miss Mac, it's a secret, Santa.
Can't we just get on with this thing so I can party for a few days before having to deal with family on Christmas?
Or Black Xmas, which is a remake of the 1974 Black Christmas. Before I get into talk about it, one thing that this film had was when it came to the marketing, of the film, Harvey Weinstein basically just said hammer, hammer, hammer it to the ground, and add more violence and all that, and at the same time add things that don't happen in the film.
You're my family now. Black Christmas.
From the trailer. So unfortunately, that some of those things that just were her getting dragged into whatever those things with lights are, or someone just jumping out of the snow or whatever. That doesn't happen, and I'll be honest and say thank gosh that doesn't happen. Thank gosh, not because I would have liked that if that had happened in a slasher movie. That would have been cool, in a winter themed slasher film like this. But I'm kind of glad that they decided to go for almost a slower burn slasher. But what was the story about for this one? The film takes place several days before Christmas and tells the story of a group of sorority sisters who are stalked and murdered in their house during a winter storm. One thing that is a bit different about this is that it does things that similar to the original 1974 film. Like the original film had topics like abortion, which was a bit of a hot button issue at the time, and as well as hey, one thing it also did was it did the point of view of the killer at the time, which unfortunately it predated Halloween, but Halloween is the one that folks say, oh, it's the one got more attention from the perspective and all that. And I've seen this film quite a few times. I really think that sadly, I think the film gets misjudged too much. In that, one thing that I think really works for this film is that I think that when it comes to the opening few minutes of how we are introduced to all of these characters, and all these sorority sisters, and as well as the first kill of the film, and how when we eventually lead into our title card of the film. it works pretty well. It also gives you, like, say, okay, yes, you may like Black Christmas, but are you ready for Black Christmas 2006? Because the sleigh ride is about to begin.
I thought so. You guys keep him locked up with just a padlock?
Begin. And yeah, one thing I think this film does, especially from director Glenn Morgan, sadly, unfortunately, like, this was his final film directing was. He didn't pass away, but he just wasn't given the opportunity to direct anything again. And yeah, I think that's kind of unfortunate when it comes to film. I think he does a really good job. I really think that also um the individual who was involved, like, say, how, like, studying the way the film is going to look, they do a good job. I really think that the setting for the film really works. And one thing the film does is, like, when it comes to bringing the story to the modern day of 2006, is, like, say, hey, we have the advent of cell phones and at the same time computers. And compared to, like, say, when we think of horror films nowadays, where, like, we have the cell phone and suddenly, like, say, hey, we're able to figure, like, where an individual is during that moment or something like that. Or with this one, like, say, yes, it was still during a time where, like, when um you could be fairly, say, hey, where's this one at? Or, like, say, like, when it comes to story elements, like, say, oh, phone's about to die, phone's about to die. See, I think when it comes to it, they are able to use cell phones rather smartly in the film. And when I was saying, like, say, they use technology in a modern way, like computers, there's a bit of a almost subplot, like, where one of the boyfriends, in this case Kyle, uh he makes a sex tape. Dude, you weren't thinking that clearly with that one, were you? You weren't thinking clearly with that, were you, bud? And I really think that when we are given the original film Black Christmas, didn't really give us much of an idea of what the backstory was for the character of Billy, Billy Lynn's. For this one, like, we have, like, him basically where he was um abused, and at the same time he also had a liver issue where he can turn yellow. Anyway, and I kind of like the idea of this, like, say, whether it's, like, say, when he's in an insane asylum, and we have a great kill when he is trying to escape, whether it's, like, say, hey, he's, like, the guard is trying to say, hey, you're never getting out of here, pal, and all that, and then he just uses a candy cane and all that, and, like, say, okay, that is. Oh my gosh. So, what they end up doing is, like, he's, like, we have a bit of misdirections in the film, like, say, whether it's a Santa Claus that shows up at the sanitarium, or the hospital. And, uh, the psychos, like, say, he's about to be seduced by a nurse, and I just think, say, I think the line between them is hilarious.
I don't know, you've been good all year. You sure you want to blow it on the last day, huh?
I'll be good.
I bet you will. Happy holidays.
We get back to the um like, the house, like, you have moments where like in the original film, like, where you had the phone calls and all that.
I'm like a tuning fork, baby. Not bad. Suck my juicy.
And I kind of like what they're doing, like a little bit. Yes, they have like the way the voice for it is kind of like say like they're trying to make it. They're trying to do a bit too hard with it. Just give the character of Billy a regular voice for the thing. That's all you would really need for that. And all the characters like say they're just like say what's going on here? This is weird. Let's get the hell out of here. At the same time, they have an issue in that the snow is causing them trouble.
I can see you. Everyone should be home for Christmas. Santa Claus is dead.
Hey, shouldn't you get going? Don't you have lots of toys to deliver to good little boys and girls?
I'm gonna kill you.
And like all the like say like one individual that shows up is the sister of the character of Claire, her older half sister in this case, Leah Colvin, shows up and all that. And I do love it when like see the boyfriend character Kyle, in which she's basically just like say like hey, when it's really like say hey yeah, he done fucked up.
Am I gonna show up on there? Isn't sex enough, Kyle? You need a little visual trophies to get your throat.
Shut the fuck up!
Hey!
I'm gonna cry.
And have the sex tape. I will say that the moments in which like say yes, even though there's moments of things are terrifying, like say the backstory of like when Billy goes insane and attacks his little sister, attacks his parents. I do think in when like they have like a moment where he's opening a stove door and all that. The way the lighting in, like the use of color, it really works. It really works. It oozes atmosphere. It really does work. At least I think. At least that's how I perceive it. But at the same time, it is kind of gross when you just like making the cookies. Ugh. Not because I don't like cookies, but
Billy was declared insane. They sent him away to Clark's sanitarium.
yeah, it's like say ugh. When he does like he makes cookies with someone's body parts, and it's just like ugh. This film has weird things with body parts, like say like like eyeballs, and it's just like ugh. I think like see one of the more interesting that kills I guess in the film is in which Mary Elizabeth Winston at first like there's a joke when she's like saying what is that thing, and it's like the scraper used to get the ice off your car, and then the mother of the sorority go say
What is that thing? Are you kidding?
Privileged bitch. Frigid southern princess.
you dumb. And I don't know, man. I thought this was entertaining as can be at times. And one of the big final climaxes is when all the characters are going up to the attic where Billy and his sister are, and like they are trying to okay, we're trying to put an end to all this.
He's my family now.
And they end up putting the house on fire. And the final act of the film takes place in a hospital, which basically they're going to say Billy is still alive, and so is his sister Agnes. But one of the best kills though is like a defibrillator, and that's pretty great. It's pretty great. But the one where I say, when it was kind of recommended to Harvey Weinstein, and it's like say, okay, Harvey, okay, you get one. You get one. You gave them one. You gave them one good idea. But everything else, fuck off. But everything else, no. Bad, Harvey. Bad. Get back over there. So, I mean, overall, I don't think this is a bad film. I really don't. I think it's entertaining. It has really good atmosphere. The use of colors. The fact that it's, like, not wanting to change. Like, it's, like, trying to be its own universe when it comes to Black Christmas. But at the same time, it's not trying to change so much that it's doing, like, you know, like, something, oh, wait, like, you're trying to be too much, you know.
Running. Go, 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 go! Ho, 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 bitch. You messed with the wrong sisters.
So overall, not too bad. I didn't think it was too bad at all. See you later.